Hi guys, my name's Elisa and welcome to episode 14 in this playthrough of the island. I started out going into the cave on Kano Island. I was mostly looking for cave drops, to be honest. I really need a Rex blueprint. I haven't seen one the whole time and I've been searching all the red drops. I've done ocean drops and I can't find one yet. So we go back in the caves. I took the Thyla this time because I'd seen people talking about how the Thyla was better than the Baryonyx for this cave and that it wasn't quite as hard to get out because last time I had some serious problems. But this time we had Slide Kitty. I found that hilarious and I genuinely concerned my partner when I was laughing that hard at something so ridiculous. Apparently, however, it had been too soon after I'd been in here last and nothing had respawned. These were just a couple of things that had been killed last time I was in here. And I didn't really have much luck. I did manage to get a second one of this artifact though, so I guess that's something. There is also a lot to get through this week, so I've sped up the clips a bit so that you don't have to go through the pain of the hours and hours and hours and hours it took me to actually do these clips. Next, I went Daeron and Beauty hunting. I found this okay level Daeron. Not the best, but it's also definitely not the worst. So I dropped it in a trap. And as I was looking to see if any of the others around were okay before I killed them, Pulovia decided to go water skating. Not only was it a jump scare, but it was quite funny watching it water ski without a boat to tow it. Even the Megalodon was a little bit confused on what the heck this Pulovia was doing. After that little bit of humour, I got the Daeron knocked out, put some kibble in it and got it taming. Went and looked for more Daeron. This one was a bit of a nicer level. 108 before tame, I was happy with that. I'd been struggling to find decent Daerons this whole playthrough, so having a 108 wild, I was okay with. After getting it tranked up, I got it, some kibble in there too, and went back to cryo up the first one, then we'll go back and cryo up the second one. And on the way back, I realised that both of those Daedons were males, so it would be really nice to have a female. This one's super low level, I think it was level 60 wild, but it's a female I can breed with, and now I have 3 pair Daedon. I then went out with the Bassie because I was still hunting for that ever elusive Rex BP. I wanted to do deep sea drops, and I was going to go into the underwater caves as well to check the drops in there, see if there was anything worthwhile. Eradicating absolutely everything at the mouth of hard underwater cave, I went in and searched for some rocks. There was even more that I had to try and get rid of, and when this twosome inked, I genuinely thought I was in trouble. I had so much on my tail, and I kind of forgot how much of level health on this thing. There was a few levels of health, although it is mostly melee. But the health definitely helps in this situation. Get rid of absolutely everything here because there was that yellow drop that I wanted to get. It was the only drop that's all in here, so all of this struggle, kind of annoying for one drop. I am having problems with cave drops. I have no idea why they don't spawn in. I've read several things online and none of it worked, so I really don't know what's happening. But at least this little yellow drop has got a semi-decent, or actually fairly decent, shotgun blueprint in there. And I grabbed the artifact just for good measure. On the way to easy underwater cave, I managed to find a couple of drops. And it had a Giga saddle in it. Also the riot gauntlets are going to be awesome in times coming. This one had riot boots and another Giga saddle in it. I can't find a Rex saddle, but I can find 2 Giga saddles? Like what? I got to easy underwater cave and somehow was still under the illusion that I talked about last week where I thought the caves were backwards. I thought this was hard underwater cave, or what people call hard underwater cave. So when there was only a handful of things in here, I was confused. But it also showed me my mistake. At least I didn't have to be as concerned as I was originally. I had also thought that I had to have some sort of cave mount to do this cave. I wasn't going to come in here originally, but I got all the way around here in my search for sea drops, so I figured I would come in here anyway in case there was any drops. I didn't realise that I could make it round in the water, so I really would have done this cave earlier if I'd known the layout of it and realised that I didn't actually have to bring something with me and plan that far ahead. Apparently I'm not that good at planning that far ahead. I managed to get artifact fruit with a lot less problem than I originally anticipated, which was honestly fantastic. I made sure to keep my eye out on the way back to make sure I wasn't missing any drops, but there were none in here either. I really don't know why I'm not getting cave drops at this point, and that never really remedied, unfortunately. That one had a rhino saddle in it. Why can I get these amazing saddles and not a Rex saddle? Like, seriously? Then I decided to make the trip back to Swamp Cave. It was time. I had to get over the fear. So I took the berry across. I left the RG on our little hut that we made last time we were here. And took the berry across. And this berry is a beast. A couple of low-level Thylers, never stood a chance. This time I absolutely made sure to keep an eye on that gas mask, because I really didn't want to repeat the last time, and I really couldn't afford to lose this berry. I had also taken it off the setting to seek fish when it was low on health, so hopefully it would stay put wherever I left it. And again, I wanted to make sure absolutely everything was eradicated out of here, so that if I needed to, the transition out would be easy. I could just make a dash for it if I needed to. Also, eradicating absolutely everything would make drop collecting, if any came about, way easier. This berry is the only thing keeping me alive in here, so if it manages to get killed, or if I have to get off and there's still things around, I'd probably be screwed. It was also looking more and more certain that the original berry I lost in here was gone for good. I never got a death notification for that berry. It just disappeared. The only thing I can think of is that it fell through the mesh, unfortunately. I know that is an issue in ASA, that you can't leave, or at least you couldn't leave creatures to start with in the caves, that the anti-meshing gobbles them up. And I'm kind of wondering whether that happened here as well. But at least finally have the artifact. Also, I spent a little bit of time just lingering in here, running around, and I managed to get a couple of drops, which was pretty cool. Not entirely sure how worth it they were, but still a couple of cave drops. After Swamp Cave, I decided it was time for Hard Ice Cave. I was worried about this thing too, but it had to be done. You can't not get the artifact. So I had to suck it up and go in there and just deal with the nerves. I also decided to bring Rexes. So the breeding lines that I've been doing definitely came in handy here. In between all the cave runs, I've also been doing a whole heap of breeding. It has been hours and hours and hours of mutation hunting. But that is ridiculously boring, and no one wants to just watch eggs hatch all day. So just know it's happening in the background. So, unfortunately, I didn't exactly mean to sacrifice the Rex to the cave, but without a saddle, it didn't really have much opportunity. I tried to get it back, but there was just too many things to be getting it, like this Pelovia. And unfortunately, in my haste, I accidentally threw out the second Rex I had, and the Pelovia killed it when it was cryosick. So it meant that I was going to have to kill what was here and make a trip back to base and come back with more Rexes. I also just wanted to see how much damage that original Rex had done, and it had done a lot. But I didn't consider the fact that there would still be things in here, and the Pelovia really didn't like the sight of me. It's just lucky that I've got really good armor and quite a decent health pool. After getting some Rexes to try and even the playing field a little bit, I came back ready for round 2. At least this time, pretty much everything was gone, so it was fairly safe to throw out this particular Rex. Got it settled out and put some health points in it. It had some levels that were available. Didn't think about the fact that the health does not immediately go to that, so it looked bloody pretty much the whole time. And everything in here had been killed, so it didn't have any meat, other than the fish. So I went around and got absolutely all the meat that I could, and this whole escapade in the cave, there was so many times that I sat there for like 5 minutes at a time just pumping meat into this Rex to try and heal it. I did edit all those times out though, because Who wants to sit there watching that? I also don't really know my way in any of these caves, so every single time I come into a cave like this, I am exploring, to say the least. Which is fun, but also nerve-wracking with a name like Hard Ice Cave. That sounds friendly, right? Not being able to equip the weapon from the Rex meant that I had to dismount the Rex to take the shots to lure the creatures here. But thankfully the Rexes don't actually kick you out of the saddle. So that is one positive thing. It keeps you relatively within a safe space. I wasn't sure whether I could make this Purlovia pop out by shooting it. Turned out I couldn't, but I did manage to get close enough that it decided to have a go anyway. For some reason, only a very small percentage of the Purlovia would actually have a go at me on the Rex. I don't know why some of them would and some of them wouldn't, but it did kind of make this area a little bit easier. And at least in this cave, I had a little bit more luck with cave drops. I actually managed to get a couple, which is really lovely. I have not had such luck with any of the other caves so far. The Rex in this spot, I don't know whether I wasn't going in the right direction or what, but I just couldn't make it get through. The crystal was also unmineable, so I couldn't destroy it to get it through. So I cryoed it up and had to pray that it wasn't the worst mistake I've ever made. Thankfully, however, I was able to get it uncryoed and back onto it before coming across anything that would annihilate me. These crystal formations definitely made navigating through here a little bit more complicated, but at least most of the crystal is mineable. So even if you can't get past it, you can at least get rid of it. I had managed to kind of cheese my way through most of the tight spots, kind of half in the mesh for most of this cave, but unfortunately here was where the Rex just couldn't go any further. It was too big. I did try and make it get further, but from here it would have to be on foot. I could see those two Polovia there. I really didn't want to be on foot with them there. So I knew I had to at least let the Rex take care of them. Dismounting up there was enough to get past one of them. That second one did not aggro when I dismounted down the bottom. So I had to come out with a different plan. Thankfully, hello bear actually couldn't hit me for some reason. So it became apparent to me that I was going to have to leave the Rex behind, but the artifact was in sight. So I figured I'd try and draw everything to the Rex to deal with it, but they kept getting stuck on this crystal formation. So, trusty old shotgun did the job nicely. I was super glad that third Polovia missed me, and it really did miss me by a hair. I would have been screwed if that thing had knocked me off right by those bears. I also wanted to make sure that all the bears down in there were gone. I wasn't too sure whether they could get out of there to come and bully me a little bit, but I didn't want to take the risk. I did, however, decide that a couple weren't going to be that much of a risk, at least while I'm up here. And thankfully, this time, for some reason, the artifact respawned. I don't have to come back in here now in case I need a second artifact. So, thankfully, that's the artifact. I've got it out, and now I just need to get the Rex and myself home. I did manage to find a couple of other drops on my way out, which was quite nice. They weren't really anything that I was searching for. I still really needed that Rex blueprint, but it's still good to have the blueprints there and the equipment there. I popped the artifact onto the pedestal, stood back and looked at my work. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you liked this, don't forget to subscribe to let me know to carry on. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week.